So we're moving on to part 2, your SMA. Both the pension and the SMA were designed to work hand in hand with each other. Two different plans, retirement plans, each has its own purpose, but together they offer you limitless possibilities when you retire, because each of us is going to have a different circumstance. Some of us might be perfectly content with our monthly. It's going to take care of all of our expenses, and so we just want our SMA as savings for fun things, vacationing, summer homes. Others, the pension may not be covering nearly enough, and so the SMA can be used to bump up that pension and give you a more comfortable lifestyle. So we'll be going through all of those things in just a moment, but we'll start with the basics. Currently, your SMA contribution rate is $9.65 per hour. It just went up a quarter at the beginning of June. Now, this is what you're receiving deposited into your SMA account for every hour you work. So hopefully you're watching those deposits go in, and that's a substantial amount, so your total SMA account should be rising pretty quickly. With the SMA vesting, it's completely different than pension. With the pension, you had to go for 5 credits in order to vest. That's going to take you 5 years minimum. With the SMA, as soon as you work 1 hour, you are vested. So every dollar in your SMA account right now is yours. You're not going to lose it. Even if you quit working, you put in 40 hours of work and you quit whatever went in there for that 40 hours, it is technically yours. So you have a real interest in watching this account, taking good care of this account. Even if you don't make it to 5 years, it's going to be your money, it's retirement money, and so you're going to want to take good care of this. And you are capable of doing this, because with the SMA, one of the advantages is you're involved in the accumulation of this account. You have control of what it's invested in. You can go onto John Hancock's website or talk to one of their customer service people, and they can help you change your investment elections, explain the options available to you. I'm not going to get into it too deeply because we have a representative from John Hancock here today, and he knows a lot more about it than me. But he'll help you understand what you need to do to stay on top of this account. And I think it's pretty awesome that you have something that you can do for yourself. It's not just happening for you. Now, it also offers you flexibility. With pension, you retire, you're going to receive X amount of dollars a month for the remainder of your life, and then for your spouse's life if you chose a spousal option. With the SMA, there are a number of different ways you can withdraw this. And this is where you have to really sit down and think. The old school mentality used to be, I apply for pension, I apply for SMA, I pull all my SMA money out. And that's what everybody did. And a lot of times they were cashing it out, a lot of times they were rolling it over somewhere, but both applications were processed simultaneously. And really, many times that's not a smart move at all, because your SMA account with John Hancock may be the very best option you have. You may not want to take it out of there, even though you're retiring. You want to keep it there and keep it invested there and take advantages of all the things you have available through them, because the cost is so reasonable, and you'll be comfortable with it because you've been doing it for years. So we're going to go over the different options, and then you might better understand what I'm talking about. But the options, you're going to have lump sum, partial lump sum, monthly, annual, and all of these different options are available depending on your age. And we'll go into each one in pretty great depth in a moment. In your packet, there is an SMA quarterly contribution statement, just like the pension. In fact, the two of them should look pretty much the same, just the rates are different. But you should be seeing the same contractors, the same number of hours. Keep in mind, these are sent to you because we have absolutely no idea who you're working for, how many hours you're putting in. You're the only one that knows that. So don't throw them away or toss them to the side and think I'm going to look at this later, because you might not. If you have a contractor not paying in, we really want to know that as soon as possible and start working on that, looking into it, find out why they're not paying in. You might want to talk to the contractor directly, or we have people in our office that can help you with that. But do it right away, because 20 years from now when you're retiring, it might be very difficult to locate that contractor. And any money not paid in is taking away from your SMA, from your pension, from your welfare. So it is really important that you look at these quarterlies. Eligibility rules for SMA. They're basically age-based, except for one of them. So if before the age of 52, now keep in mind this is a retirement account, so before 52, you have to go for 24 consecutive months without iron working and continue not working until you receive your payout. So what that means is you cannot have gone for 2 years without working 10 years ago and then come in and apply and say, yeah, well, I've already done that. It has to be the most recent 2 years and then continue until you receive your distribution. Now, once you hit age 52, it gets much easier. Between 52 and 59 and a half, you only have to go for the 3 months without iron working and continue until you receive distribution. And that at 59 and a half and older, you're of retirement age. So you're supposed to just go from your application date until you receive distribution. So it's a very short time period. Our exception is a disability withdrawal. With a disability, your age is immaterial. We just need to determine if you are totally and permanently disabled. Once that has been established, you can withdraw it. So if you are 32 years old and disabled, you can withdraw your SMA account. You can see how beneficial that might be if you are disabled. You're going to need money, and it could take a while before Social Security kicks in. And what do you do in the interim? So you can withdraw your SMA, and if you're not receiving Social Security disability, we can send you in for an IME, an independent medical evaluation. Simple process. The doctor basically talks to you, reports back to us saying, they did or didn't find you permanently disabled. And then, if you are, we go forward with a disability application, and Social Security might come to play in 2 years later. But this might just help you a bit in the interim. So SMA disqualifying employment. It's different than pension. With SMA, you just cannot work iron. So when I was talking about not working for 24 months, what that means is you could not be working iron in the states of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin, or any standard metropolitan area bordering those states. So local 8, disqualifying, even though they don't contribute here. Local 1, disqualifying, even though they don't contribute here. So if in doubt, if you have a question, say you're almost at your 3 months, you got a job offer, iron working in a different state, and you're thinking, gosh, can I do this? Call us. Okay, we'll let you know if it's considered disqualifying and if it would slow down the application process or not. We're always there to help you. But yeah, so there are some rules you need to abide by before you get a distribution before 59 and a half. So your optional forms of payment. This is what keeps growing, and in a good way. First, you can take a lump sum payout. This has been around forever. And basically, the rule was, you apply for it, you're taking it out. And the only 2 choices you had in that is you could take it all out as cash, and then you're going to have 20% federal tax withheld. There could be an additional penalty on it depending on your age. And of course, that's going to bump you up tax-wise for that year because you took a big distribution. So a lot of tax consequences to doing that all in a year. But the other option you had is rolling it over to another qualified plan. So if you had a personal IRA or something like that, if you could roll it to another retirement account, you wouldn't owe any tax on it at that time. You'll be paying the tax on it then when you withdraw from that other retirement plan. And you could do a combination of both. So that kind of was the old school way of doing it. Now we offer a partial lump sum, which is really nice. So say you just need $40,000, $50,000 for something. An emergency comes up, you need this money. You've got $1 million sitting in your SMA. You don't want to withdraw the $1 million and decide what you're going to do with it right now, but you need this money. You can apply for a partial, pay the tax on that partial, and leave the rest of your balance at John Hancock, still working for you. You still can change what it's invested in, and you don't have to deplete that account, which is a really nice offering. We never had that before. Sorry. Another one is you can take monthly payments over your lifetime. That's kind of like, well, you're annuitizing it. You're turning it into a pension. So if it's very important for you to make sure that you get enough money coming in every month. That is your goal. You're not worried so much about having this big chunk of change out there. You want to make sure you're making your bills. You might want to annuitize your SMA. And what will happen is we'll be contacting an insurance company. We'll tell them this is the dollar amount of your SMA account. If we transfer this to you, and our member is this age, and if you're married, your spouse is this age, they'll take it from there. They're going to come back and tell us, okay, we can make this money, last if we pay them out X amount of dollars a month. And then it'll be treated just like your pension. You will receive it for the remainder of your lifetime. It'll go your spouse's lifetime. But the thing is if you're single, there could be a possibility that we transfer this money over to them. You get paid out your lifetime, and there's still a balance left from what originally went to the insurance company. That balance goes to your beneficiaries. Okay, so it's not going to stay with the insurance company. It is your money. So that's a plus. It's not, kind of making interest for you or anything, but at least you'll get the original balance back, or your beneficiaries will.
When you say annuitize, like take the health care?
Annual installments. This was one of our older options, not as popular now with everything else. But once you reach the age of 59 and a half, you could receive your SMA in annual installment payments. So every January 1st, you'd get a lump sum payment. If you went with the 5 years, you get 1/5 of your account balance. You could extend it out to 20 years. You could change between them. So say that first year you were retiring, you had big plans of renovating your house, you wanted a big payment. You started with the 5 year. You got a good chunk that year. But then after that, it's like, okay, I want to slow this down. I want my SMA to last. You could knock it down to a 20 year. And then you can change it again. You could change it every year. Ultimately, you could cancel it, but then you're going to receive your remaining balance as a cash out to you. So it's all going to come out of your SMA. What you're determining is just how long it's going to take to do that. Okay, and then our new one, which is a monthly installment payment. Okay, so with the monthlies, you have to go for, you have to be 55 and a half or older, which means you'd have to go the 3 months without working because you're between 52 and 59 and a half. But once that's met, you can apply for this. You will need spousal consent to do this if you're married. And like the pension, you will be suspended if you work over 40 hours. Okay, so if you work 40 or less, you'll still get your SMA monthly payment. But if you work, say, 50 hours, we're going to suspend you that month. Now, it won't take place that month because we won't know, you're doing it on that month, but we'll contact you and work it out with you and let you know what month we're going to suspend to get repayment of the month we paid you. So there are, hourly rules.
So is it like you're still contributing then to the SMA fund, whereas in the pension you're not really?
Like I said, you're determining the dollar amount that you want as a monthly. You can change it twice a year. So let's say Joe is 55 and he has the $500,000 in his account. He's married and his spouse consents to doing this. He elects to have $2,000 per month taken out initially, and this is going to go directly into his bank account, similar to his pension. now he, goes on in time and realizes that I'd like to increase that. So he contacts us. He bumps it up to $3,000 a month, and that is okay. He can do this twice a year, change the dollar amount, and that is allowed. Now he returns to work for 40 hours. That is no problem. He still gets his benefit. Then he works the 50, and he's suspended. And like I said, we will contact him as to when we will suspend. Then Joe decides he needs to make a purchase. He needs a lump sum distribution. That is no problem. You are allowed to take a lump sum distribution while you're still taking your monthlies. So it's like you're going to have two different things going on simultaneously, but it's okay. Like I said, this offers you so many different opportunities. This is where he bumps it up. Now he's also allowed to terminate this. So let's say he gets to age to start Social Security, and now he realizes he really doesn't need this anymore. He's going to be okay with this, his pension and his Social Security. You just contact us. We send you a form, and you can cancel. And then whatever remains in your SMA is there. So there's your savings or your safeguard, or maybe you have other plans for it. But that way, you are not going to deplete this account if you don't need to. So it's a great way to help you retire early and live comfortably until Social Security kicks in. Death benefits. So with your SMA, as I said, that is yours, 100%. If you pass away before that account has been paid out, whatever remains in that account will be paid out to your beneficiary. If you're married, it'll be your spouse, and your spouse would be offered all the options you would have been offered. So depending on your age, 55, 59, there's more options. If you are not married, it's going to be paid out as a lump sum to your beneficiary. The lump sum, is going to be taxable, but they can roll it over. So they do have that option if they aren't, prepared to pay that tax right up front. Hardships. So these are new as well. As you can see, we have a number of different provisions for hardships. But if you are applying for a hardship, it does have to fall under one of these categories. And documentation will be needed for each one. I know there's a lot here, but in your folder, you will find these listed out. And of course, please call our office. Jenny is, and Ashley. I think Meredith is even getting there. She's our newest employee, but they're experts on this stuff. They deal with it every single day. But if you have medical expenses for you, your spouse, your children or dependents, that is considered a hardship. You'd have to provide the bills, and it can't be something that's already been paid. So it has to be a bill that's outstanding. Purchase of your principal residence. Of course, this has to be a permanent structure. It cannot be your car. It's got to be a place you're living in. But this can be done once every 5 years, and it's a great way to help you get your down payment on your first home. So yes, keep that in mind too. Very helpful. Tuition for secondary education. And that would be for you, your spouse, your kids, or dependents. So if any of those people are going to college, the thing is how this is going to be paid out is you're going to send us the bills ahead of time, and we're going to pay it by semester. So you send us, all the tuition and the books and everything for a month, for a semester, and we'll send you a check, and it continues. Okay. Imminent mortgage or tax foreclosure or eviction. In any of these circumstances, same thing, we need documentation that it's actually happening and it's current, but then if you have that, we could pay out a hardship on that as well. Funeral expenses for your spouse, your parents, your child, or dependent, we would just need documentation and a death certificate. Repair damage to your principal residence as a result of a federally declared emergency or disaster. So This you would need documentation for. Jenny's our expert at this, so call our office if you are in doubt how to get that proof. But this can be paid out pretty quickly and help you out, even if insurance is lagging a bit. The SMA also allows you to have money rolled over to it from other defined contribution plans. So, when you were young and started out as an iron worker, after just a short amount of time of working here, work got really slow. And you're young, you're ambitious, and you have no ties, and you're thinking, I just need money. And you find out that work is booming in Texas. You take off, you go to Texas, you're there 2 years making great money. Things dry up there and everything's looking great here, and you come back home and you stay here then for the rest of your working career. In a perfect situation, when you had done that, you had signed a reciprocal to have all your benefits come back here. But if for some reason that didn't take place with your SMA, you'll have a retirement account there, similar to your SMA, much smaller balance, and you're getting hit with fees there, you're getting hit with fees here. That account's much smaller. It might be something that you forget about periodically, especially if you move, you don't give them your new address, now that account's forgotten. So you might prefer to roll that over into your SMA. That way, all your retirement money's together, it's all at John Hancock, you're taking care of it the same way, one set of fees. It's probably a pretty smart thing to do. We have paperwork in your folder that demonstrates or shows you what you need to do. Is it the bright orange?
Yes.
Bright orange papers. 3 pages in there, but that is what you would need to have filled out in order to do this. You could have a few funds like that, and we can accept any rollover if it's coming from another qualified plan. So another locals annuity, that's definitely qualified. Yes.
Clarify, it doesn't have to be from hired work. It can be.
Right, as long as it's a qualified plan, it could be any trade. We've taken it, I think I've seen it from the electricians. So yes, if you worked in another trade and had an account, if you prefer for it to be here, roll it over.
Okay.
Yes. The pension, if you divorce and your spouse is awarded a portion of your retirement benefits, a quadro needs to be filed. I would just recommend doing it as quick as possible because it takes a while to process a quadro. And say you need a lump sum distribution and you qualify for it and you haven't finalized the quadro, we might end up holding up that distribution for a couple months trying to get the quadro finalized. So just get it to it as quick as possible so we can separate the accounts and you are free to do as you need to do with no worry of the ex-spouse, okay? Now, this is where we get a little confused at times. Okay, so as you know, we're Mid-America and we are involved with your SMA as well as John Hancock. Okay, so all investment questions, if you want to check your balance, anything of that nature, you're going to go straight through John Hancock. They will help you answer any questions. They've got a great customer service line you can call. You can even go online. I'll let them go through all of that. Our office, we're the paper people. So if you are looking to apply, if you're looking to find out if you're eligible, if you're trying to track down hours, or you have questions about the hardships and what you need to meet that, our office is the one that will take care of that. So just give us a call, or better yet, if you're ever in the area, stop by. It's great to get an opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation with you, because then we can get more specific to your certain circumstance, especially when you get close to retirement. I mean, it's a big thing in your life. It's an ongoing thing. It's, you've been working for years and you don't want to make a quick decision on anything. So, come on in. We'd love to see you. If not, give us a call. And thank you. It's been great seeing all of you. We talk to you on the phone all the time, so it's nice seeing faces.